Hey Ned, so I wanted to create this little video for you so you could kind of better understand in an audio-visual illustrative sense of what you're reading about exposure and half and third stop increments. Whatever you're reading is going to be a way better teacher than me, but sometimes I find learning is better if you're kind of hands-on or you can actually see stuff in kind of like live action for yourself. So follow my little arrow here, which isn't very big, so bear with me, and I'll kind of briefly give you a cursory overview of what exactly you're starting to learn. So basically, in regards to half and third stop increments, what that means is you have to first think about shades of light. Your camera is going to only see and be able to capture any given thing in 5 stops of latitude. What that means is you start out with these two are related here. So you starting out with the most even average reading and exposure you can make is going to be when this little tick mark is at 0. So that is going to be your best exposure, mathematically speaking. Now, mathematically is not exactly the most interesting thing, which is why we're given the option to make things brighter or darker in camera by over or underexposing any given thing. So your eye sees in 16 stops of latitude. So what you see is not necessarily what you're going to get when you take a photo, because your camera isn't as advanced as your eyeball. So your eyes are a better camera than an SLR or DSLR will ever be, at least as far as technology is concerned now. So in 5 stops of latitude, you have your 0, which is right here. This right here is going to be on the bottom of your camera. Where did I put it? So I think you shoot with, am I wrong? Do you shoot with a TI-2 or Canon TI? I don't know. Oh, that's half stop. You don't need to see that. Oh, yeah, here we go. So just for reference purposes, this right here is actually, and this is the viewfinder through a TI-1, so it's probably, I imagine, is the same as what you see. This right here is actually right here on, on your, when you're looking through the viewfinder, this is what that is. It's on here, on the side here, just for, it's easier for me to kind of demonstrate what I'm about to teach you, but I mean, this equals this right here. So, FYI. It's all way confusing. Hold on. So again, so you've got your 5 stops of latitude. You have 0, which is right here, which is right here to the center. 0 is the center. 0 again is the most average and mathematically perfect exposure you're going to have when you take a photo. Now, average and even means really boring to me. It's when you start micro-adjusting, which is where half and third stop increments come in handy, is when you can really kind of properly expose things for what they what color or what where they fall in shades of light and shades of gray that really start to make a photo dynamic. I'm listening to myself right now, I'm not making any sense, so let's start over again. Okay, so we've got 0 here. 1 stop above 0 is +1, or 1 right here. 2 stops above 0 is right here, which is right here. And then it goes in the opposite direction. Here's 0 again, here's 1 stop, here's 2 stops right there. And what that is here's gray. This is your average kind of gray. This is slightly lighter gray, and this is white, bright white with retaining detail. So what that means is like your highlights, your highlights aren't blowing out. That's what that means. Going down 1 stop, or as photographers say, stopping down or stopping up, means this more charcoal gray, and then 2 stops is black. So that'd be charcoal gray, black. Light gray, white while retaining detail. And by the way, that's black with retaining detail as well. So things aren't completely dark and lost and completely opaque. Where third stop and half stop increments come in is the spaces in between full stops of light. So a half stop between 0 and 1 would be right here, which would be right here. So what's the difference between average gray and light gray? I mean, I don't know, whatever that means. That so is, you know, I can't really tell you the shade it is, but you'll be able to kind of judge it with your eye. What's, you know, and then so a half stop between charcoal gray and gray would be right here. So basically it's half stop and third stops moving this little hash mark, third and half stop increments at a time, to get the perfect micro adjustment, to get the perfect exposure. And how do you move this little hash mark? Well, you adjust either your shutter speed or your aperture. So clicking, like just for argument's sake, let's just say it's the shutter speed. So just clicking once on your little wheel on the shutter speed will bring it up 1/3. Clicking it again will bring it up 1/2. Clicking it yet again will bring it up 1 stop. So clicking your shutter speed 3 times will bring it, in one direction, will bring it 1 full stop above average. Clicking it in the other direction, which is left, I think, if you're using a Canon, is the same kind of thing. Clicking it once will underexpose it by 1/3. Clicking it twice will underexpose it by 1/2. Clicking it 3 times will underexpose it by a full stop, which is right here. This is a full stop. This scale, you're not going to see half and third stop increments of light. So know that half and third stops fall in between full stops of, this is so confusing, but it's really easy, I swear to God. Clicking at half and third stops will split the difference between these official full shades of gray. So that's kind of what it is, man. So what you want to do is take your little, you want to switch on to spot meter mode, not evaluative matrix. And, you know, you can put this little circle over the subject's skin of whoever you're shooting, and depending if they're black, white, Asian, or, you know, all the skin tones in between, you correspond where this hash mark will lie based on how dark or light they are. White people generally are, you want to generally, you know, move your little hash mark 1 full stop above. That will give you a good exposure skin reading on the white person. Asian people are halfway in between. So here's your average, here's 0, which is zone 5 here. Asian person would fall about right here. So that's 2 little clicks on your shutter speed. You know, so once this little hash mark lands right here, for an Asian person, that's the proper exposure for their skin, more or less. Now, depending on, you know, the degree of their skin, you know, you can judge by looking at the back of your LCD picture, or LCD screen at the picture. You can kind of micro adjust 1 little click more or less. Do you know what I mean? So clicking 1/3 or 1/2 is just going to give you finite control between full stops of latitude. And again, your camera sees in 5 stops of light total. What does this mean? Do I have another example? Yes. So how this equates to color is the following. All color is spectrums of light. You need to understand that. I'm sure you do. So here's 0 again. Again, your most neutral average gray. Here's what red looks like, the most average. Orange looks like the most average. You recognize these colors because these are primary colors. You'll find these in any 8-pack of crayons. Those are the most average. That's the equivalent of the most average color when you have your exposure set to 0. Increasing, or see this little hash mark right here? Increasing or decreasing by half or third stops is going to make this red pink or salmon. Clicking it again will make this white-ish. Clicking it, underexposing it by full stop will make maroon. You understand? I mean, you can see by under or overexposing your image, you can change the color that something really is. And if where full and half and third stops come in is if you want, like, what's the color between red and pink here? I mean, I don't know. I don't have a box of crayons in front of me, but let's say, you know, let's say that whatever you're taking a picture of, you want to expose it. It is a color between red and pink, and so in order to get the proper exposure, you just kind of split the difference. You increase it by 1/2 or 1/3, or excuse me, 1/3 or 1/2, and then you'd get whatever the color is that falls in between. Same with underexposing it, you know. So yeah, I mean, that really is confusing. I'm listening to myself talk and I'm realizing I probably don't even understand what I'm saying. But suffice it to say, if you take away anything from this, what third and half stops are micro adjustments or micro levels between full stops of brightness that go either bright or dark. They're splitting the difference halfway or a third in between these shades of light, which if you're shooting color equals, these shades of color. That's all it really is. It's very, very simple. So it just gives you finite control between these zones of light. And that's all that really is. I doubt I taught you anything, but just know that it's really not that hard. And the more you play around with it, the more you micro adjust, the more accurate your exposures are going to be in camera from the onset.